So, risks of ignoring regulations. Loss of life. I just mentioned that one. And it's not just here. It's hospitals. It could be the fitness center. Somebody down the street, you don't have the medical information for somebody that's in the fitness center at that point in time. There's a lot of things that it could relate to. Pharmaceutical organizations, the drugstore, who's tracking all that data and information, and they have something incorrect or don't have the information for somebody who calls in right away that needs something from the pharmacy. Potential, right? Health and safety. I mentioned that one a little bit with the extreme one from the perspective of the prisons from that standpoint. Loss of revenue is a big one. Loss of revenue. I mean, think of the impacts of, I forget which was one of the credit card. It was the Experian, one of the credit cards that got everything exposed, right? How much revenue do you think that impacted them? Where had they done a compliance audit, had they followed all the regulatory things, had the ability to recover, had they had the data stored properly, none of this would have ever happened. And unfortunately, that's kind of how businesses view this today, right? I mean, how many of you in your data center have gone to your management and said, we need to replace this UPS system because it's 12 years old and it's going to fail, and it only has a 7-year life? And they say, well, has it ever failed? No. Well, what happened? Well, it did fail once. We got batteries in there within an hour, so we're all heroes when we make it running, right? But does that fix the ultimate problem? And that's kind of how compliancy is taken today. The only thing that's going to change this is the fact that people are now getting audited and are getting fined. Or you're having some of these unfortunate incidents that are happening. Because everything, I mean, think about it this today. What today does not run through our digital environment through a data center today? I mean, you look at your phones. There's more power in your phones than were in servers 4 or 5 years ago, right? And look at all the stuff you can access for your phone and all the stuff of going to the cloud. And the cloud is not what? The cloud is in a data center. So it's all there. We're all driving from that. Whether it's running the traffic lights out there to the ambulatory services to, simple things. Putting money in your kid's lunch account. It's all done remotely through the digital, right? Reduction in productivity is a big one. Companies could lose their productivity from that perspective. Harmful to the reputation. Okay, mentioned a couple of those. I mean, it did hurt Target. What I'm going to talk about tomorrow is, I'll save it, but there was a major airlines that lost a huge amount to their reputation because they did not have the ability to recover in a disaster. And I'll share a little bit about that tomorrow. Breach of law. The law gets into things like sending the wrong information, people getting access to the wrong information. You're not protecting the information, whether it's financial information, whether it's medical information, whether it's background, whether it's somebody's past employment history. I mean, it can go on and on and on, right? Which obviously leads to public relations and to financial penalties. And the penalties are not small. They start at like millions of dollars with these. They don't mess around with this. Now, how can you address this? Like I said, if you at least do a risk assessment of your facility, do an audit of your IT and your security of your data and your handling, know what issues you have, and have a plan to address them, you'll be far better off than just ignoring them. Ignorance is not taken well when they come in to do a compliance or regulatory audit, for those of you who maybe have been through one. Okay? Ignorance is not an excuse in this because of the implications of it, right? So at least consider having that in and having an assessment and understanding where you are and what you have and what the risks are. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you you're much better off at least to know what you're dealing with than not before you get there.